Oh, it's amazing. One of the great stadiums. It's great to see in South Africa. Fans filling up them seats to support a team who many were unsure at the beginning of the season would be here or even close to a semi-final. And they are. They're at home. They've been brilliant the last few weeks. Fantastic for South African rugby, and it's great for the URC, and Ulster are going to be up against it today.
Yes, COVID regulations still apply in South Africa. That's why it's not a full stadium. Probably would have been without that. And it's Nell who's hit hard by Ulster playing in those gold shirts. And this is Ivan Roos, and they've got to keep a very close eye on the number 8. He's been mentored in the recent past by Dwayne Vermeulen, playing in the 8 shirt for Ulster, of course, this afternoon. And the clearing kick is launched away by Herschel Yankees. One of a number of players in this Stormers side are involved in the South African team that won the World Cup. It's a strong outfit, and all marshalled and controlled by that man, John Dobson.
Good kick by Yankees, wasn't it? They know they need to get their exits right, under pressure by O'Connor. First line-up opportunity for Ulster.
Step off.
But I wonder how the Stormers will approach it. We know the free-flowing opportunities that they can take, but set piece has got to be right. The kicking game's got to be right for them.
Come in.
We saw last night how wonderful the Bulls were on both sides of the ball in the line-out. Stole 4 Leinster throws. Rob Herring from Cape Town. First line-out very successful. Billy Burns pulls the ball back for Nick Timoney, one of the try scorers last week against Munster. Here is Billy Burns. Now James Hume, who's in the form of his life. He's had a sensational season. Player of the match against Munster. The first turnover is won by the Stormers. It's usually Dion Fourie in that position, not on that occasion. But Stephen Ferris saying in the studio how crucial the breakdown phases will be, and it's 1-0 to the Stormers.
But if you do your thing first,
the initial defence from the Stormers, I think it was Libok who made the tackle, or at least came up. Billy Burns calling for a trip.
So just make sure when moving the ball back, make sure it's
dead in its tracks. Ulster's attack so good in that area. We saw them carve Munster up out wide, but early on in and around that centres, the Stormers would have been waiting for that off first phase play.
Manny Lebok looks for a decent touchline kick, and it is an absolute cracker. James Hume just slipping on this turf, caught in possession, and what a great turnover and confidence booster that is, straight off the bat for the Stormers. Manny Lebok, very versatile, plays at number 10 for the Stormers, but has played all along the back line. Various other guises, and that's a sensational kick into the corner. Kutsa, no Scarra into Benny, who's injured, so Kutsa gets a relatively rare start for the Stormers, and they go to Murat. Kutsa at the tail. Let's see what sort of power this Stormer side has in the driving maul. We saw so much physicality, brutal physicality last night at the RDS from the Bulls.
They're in great shape, Robert, aren't they? They're in great shape.
Kutsa's looking strong here. Can they stay on their feet? Can they find a way through? They're upright, they're driving. Michael Adamson watches very closely. The backs come thundering in, and Mike Adamson has seen enough. Well, he's given the penalty try, but then he turns on his heels and he wanders back. Well, I'm not quite sure what Mike Adamson was doing there, because he definitely gave the penalty try, and as he decided to reverse that decision, the try still awarded, but wide out. But my goodness, that was a thundering drive. Kutsa at the back of it.
Perfect start for the Stormers at home. Not just that try, but the whole build-up, the exit, the defence off first phase, winning the penalty over ball, kick to the corner, and that's the perfect profile of a driving line-out. Morat at the front of that, perfect profile, working hard at the front. Kutsa stays in there, he's patient, he doesn't want to break out, and you can see the desperation from all the Ulster defenders, but that's just power against power there. As the backs come flying in for the Stormers, Mike Adamson wants to go under the sticks. I think he got the call in from the touch judge, one of his assistants, to say the try was scored. Otherwise, it could have been a double whammy, a straight 7 for the Stormers, and maybe even a sin bin for Ulster. But what a start!
Yes, you probably take just the try there and not the extra 10 minutes for the yellow card that normally comes with a penalty try. So Manny Lebok with the conversion attempt at a very similar start to their league meeting in March when the Stormers ran out to a 12 points to nil lead after 6 minutes. Scored 2 tries in that opening stanza. Manny Lebock, 161 points in the URC this season, 13 points in the playoff game against Edinburgh last week. 2 appearances for South Africa A. The 12 stone out half, and he's over 6 feet. Wary. Wonderful to see crowds back in the stadiums here in South Africa. Spent longer than most in empty stadiums, and Manny Lebock does not add the extra 2, and the Stormers will now have been hoping that Mike Adamson had given that penalty try, but it's still 5 points to nil. The perfect start for the Stormers.
Yeah, just look at the profile. I mean, Ulster, I don't really know what more they can do, really. They've got everybody in there. It just comes down to the momentum and the weight. Perfect score for the Stormers.
Billy Burns, has that gone all the way out? Kept in play, I think, by McElroy, was it? The attempted carry forward there by Salman Murat.
Yes.
McElroy's been in great form this season. The Ulster backline in general's been in great form, creating a lot, scoring a lot.
You can't go quick.
Yeah, I think my initial views were it went straight out.
No, not if you pass it to somebody else. Stephen. Got the scrum.
Yeah, Mike Adamson offering the option that scrum in the midfield to restart. Shaky start without stating the obvious for Ulster.
Might get even shakier here with Stephen Kitchoff and Frans Malherbe, who played in the World Cup final wearing 1 and 3 this afternoon. So how will Andy Warwick and Tom O'Toole get on against those respective beasts?
On the calls, wait for the calls.
Kitchoff, the captain, described by John Dobie this week as an officer and a gentleman, takes notes at all the team meetings, organises the socials, cheerful, positive and engaging.
The ultimate team, man. But this is what matters now. The nuts and bolts of being a prop. See Marlborough on this tight head. He's a big lad, isn't he, without stating the obvious.
Actually outweighed slightly by Ulster. And of course, a lot of technique.
That's the perfect profile of a scrum for everyone watching. And it stayed up.
It's like a freeze frame, isn't it? Yankees for Manny Lebock. And they've got a frightening attack. And it's Leland Zass looking for some space on the outside, but Ulster using the touchline well.
Yeah, Balakoon did really well. First big play for him. It's come defensively. Really good in defence. They want to get his hands on the ball, but again, the nuts and bolts first. Just throwing his opposite man, Zass. Poor carry for Zass, really. You don't want to be going into touch, especially off the perfect scrum that they got.
Stay on your mark. I told you before the game, I'll give you your mark.
Just wondering last night when the final whistle went, will Ulster possibly tighten up a little bit now, knowing that if they win here, the final's in Belfast at the Kingspan. The last time they had that opportunity, they lost the semi-final to Glasgow at Scotstoun, 16-14. Ulster fans will remember it well. Glasgow went on to win the title at the Kingspan Stadium against Munster.
Okay, it's outside. Outside.
Cooney, now 32 years of age, launches one high, and it's well taken by Zass. 11 tries in the URC in just 11 games. Tremendous return from him, and Ruas carries well, as he always does. Seems to make those meters. Recently named as the next generation star of the season in the URC for players under 23 with 5 caps or fewer. Morat with a carry. Now Yankees. Slightly deeper was Warwick Gallant. Finds Robert Balakoon, Ulster's top try scorer with 10 this season. Ulster may have the wrong studs in this evening, because that's 2 Ulster backs who have now slipped on this turf. Manny Lebock signalling this is going to go a long way into the Cape Town sky. McCluskey comes in, helped by Stuart Moore, and Ulster win the penalty this time.
No, don't.
Sinatla not releasing. Stuart Moore, his 5th start at fullback. Michael Lowry out after fracturing his cheekbone.
Yeah, big turnover as well in the context of history between these two teams. Ulster dominated at the breakdown last time they played Stormers. That's your 15 in over ball, as well as your 12.
Just don't hold people after.
And that's the way back in for Ulster, isn't it? They need to find a way back in, even physically. I know we've only had 10 minutes into this game, Robbo, but in the collisions, they're being smashed back. You should try and find a foothold, a settler. You imagine something fairly simple in around here. I wouldn't go for the drive myself. I'd try and break out, get the ball into McCluskey's hands.
Very high percentage of Ulster tries come from the line out, but very much like Leinster, the Bulls last night, they've lost their own throw there. Here comes Dion Fury, 35 years of age now, and off goes Marvin Orey. He has some experience of the old Pro 14. He played for the Ospreys. Ulster getting over the ball through McCluskey. Brilliant work by the inside centre. Henderson tries to ship it on, but the knock-on comes as they attempted to shuffle the ball away. Fury already has got some damage to his left eye there. Fury, who was actually the replacement hooker for the Stormers in that Super Rugby final 12 years ago. What a player he's been since. 10 years of that spent in France for Lyon
I don't
and
want to hear what you
Grenoble.
just said to him. Okay, don't want to see that again. Shots, 4-2 shots.
Yeah, going to go to the scrum.
6.
Stuart McCluskey, brilliant turnover. Just spoke about one. Stuart Moore.
If it happens again, we're going higher.
Just earlier.
Scrum called.
And that's a worry for the Stormers, isn't it? Losing 2 at the breakdown, normally an area where they are strong.
Yeah,
Clearly, Ulster targeting that area. They need to be cleaner off first phase.
The steal was fine, then knocked on after.
He's a classic poaching back row forward, isn't he? He's very, very squat, built like a bungalow. And just getting into a bit of a tete-a-tete with Ian Henderson.
He just told him to leave him alone. I think that is in Northern Irish lip reading.
Okay, let's go again.
Same in any language, I think.
Go away, so you will.
Okay. There's a mark. Let's quick reset, please.
Met here on the 26th of March. Stormers won 23-20. A controversial ending. A Callum Reid try wrongly not awarded by the referee TMO combo. Confirmed by the head of officials, Tappy Henning, the following week.
Crouch.
And those 2 tries, early tries scored by the Stormers from Paul de Vet, who's injured, the scrum half, and Leland Zass.
Set.
Ulster then changed their tactics entirely, went to more of a kicking game, tried to nail the Stormers down. It worked.
Yes, 9.
And in the end, they came so close to that victory. Yankees to Lebock, and here is Ruinell, former Sevens player. He's had a wonderful season, hardly missed any rugby at all. Second in terms of minutes played. Bruce. Yankees. And Ray getting in the way. Here's Lebock. Danger here for the Stormers. And James Hume read it well, coming up hard and fast.
Advantage, offside.
Warwick Gallant, but it's an offside.
Retreating man, offside. Yeah, number 12. Stop the option going blind.
So there it is, Mike Adamson clear on the ref mic. I'm sure you can hear it at home. I don't think it was against James Hume, that man. It was McCluskey.
Number 12, it's just on the far side. Just stop that option.
Physical game already. Obviously, stakes are high. Semi-final. Look at the collisions, even in that phase. Marcus Ray, some big shots.
Ulster certainly should be used to tackling. They've made the most tackles of any side in the URC. Over 2,800, would you believe?
Yeah. Comes. Jan. Yeah, there's plenty.
Nothing wrong with that there. You see Stuart McCluskey trying to work through the breakdown.
Time off. Yeah, time's off. We're just inside. So I'll put the blue on the line. Then you can go there. So blue on the line.
Just on this line out, the worry is now for Ulster. Do they go up in the air and compete? Or does that early try and the physicality the Stormers showed make them want to stay down? We saw the importance, didn't we, last night of the line out.
Turieff on the Roos, Yankees, Roos, that's brilliant rugby! Oh, that is sensational! It's a golden moment for the Stormers here in Cape Town. They were so dynamic from that line out. It was all played at searing pace. and Ulster could do nothing about it at all.
So good. Man of the moment, Evan Roos there. Ulster did compete at the front of the line out, and the timing was just brilliant. You see Roos come out there as Andrew Warwick puts his head into Yanchi's back on the inside. The perfect training ground play.
Well, the deftness, the dexterity of the handling here between Yankees and Roos.
Just a perfect try, isn't it? The timing, and it will all go back to that initial try the Stormers scored, and the physicality. Ulster know that they've got that, but when you look at the Stormers and the tries they've scored this season, something for the viewers, if you've not watched this franchise this season that much, they're not just physical, which all South African teams are. They can play heads-up rugby, and that's a fantastic try.
Well, they're top of the charts in terms of clean breaks, 152 before this game, second in defenders beaten, second in offloads. That shows you with the sort of intent they try to play with, the Stormers, as they demonstrated there. And if this goes over 12-0, it'll almost replicate the start against Ulster in March. In March it took them 6 minutes to reach 12. Well, that's a healthy opening to this game for the Stormers, very much in charge.
It was just the timing. I know we're watching man of the moment, 22 years old.
Yeah.
If he's not a Springbok in the next year, then I don't know who is going to be one of the up-and-coming stars of world rugby, Evan Roos.
His nickname here is the Janitor, as he sweeps everything up. Anything he misses, he hits them with his broom.
Hey, they might be good at rugby, but
They're not good at nicknames.
no, they're not. No, if that's the banter.
The Janitor. Yeah.
Stephen.
He's great back three, 11
Open.
clean breaks, 34 offloads for him. Just second in offloads to Marcel Coetzee, who scored a try last night against Leinster. Rob Herring finds Ian Henderson, brought down illegally, surely, yes. Very obvious there, certainly in the referee's eye. Salman Murat.
He's still in the air.
I mean, very obvious. I mean, it's actually closer than you think. It's a great tactic by the Stormers. As we know, Ulster, one of the best driving lineouts, which they were going to then. I don't think there was much in that, though. I think it was the speed in which more of that pulled down. Let's have a look, see if I'm completely wrong. Aye, it is, yeah. So there's not a lot in it. There's a few inches, which in the line-out is quite a lot.
Just timing, lads, timing.
3 yellow cards this season. Former South African under-20 skipper. My Ulster, a chance to build off what has been a very successful line-out this season.
In the 5.
Rob Herring, Cape Tonian.
One stop.
Long O'Connor is on his shoulder. Herring's getting broken away here. Could be isolated. Ulster got to get in there quickly. John Cooney gets the ball away to McCluskey. Now Billy Burns on the outside. Is there a chance for Balakoon? Robert Balakoon for the try for Ulster. Was it a forward pass? Robert Balakoon looked straight at the referee. But that was much more like it by Ulster. A bit of sizzle, a bit of synergy at last.
And Mike Adamson has said he thinks it's flat. I'm sure we'll get a look at it, but I'll let someone else decide that. We'll just observe Balakoon going over. Like Dan McFarlane said, just get the ball into that man's hands and he'll do something.
Ben, that pass was flat for us on the pitch, unless you've got any clear angles.
And it's flat for me.
There we go.
Yeah, well. Thank you.
Well, Ben Whitehouse deciding it's flat.
We have looked at it and the TMO thinks it's flat as well.
Stuart Moore's pass. Was that
On
flat for you?
So hard to judge, isn't it? You see Stuart Moore, the trajectory of the pass, he's moving forward. I've seen them given forward before, and these are the big calls, which we know. And Mike Adamson said it needs to be clear for him that the ball went forward. It's not clear. And this is the thing when you're away from home from Ulster, even as a referee as well, these big decisions you've got to make on the run. You've obviously got the TMO, Ben Whitehouse, making the call to take the emotion out of it for Mike Adamson, which sometimes can be difficult, but what a well-worked try. And that's not just a settler for Ulster, but also a big moment in the game because it was all the Stormers.
John Cooney with the conversion attempt. Strikes, well, it's off the post. I think everybody knows where I'm born. To me, that looked like it was a forward pass. Ulster might have got away with one there.
Yeah, it's a well-worked move, though, isn't it? From the front of the line out as well, not going anywhere at all. We see that Ulster like to play with the width. And Stuart Moore's the right option. Again, just to reiterate what I said, trying to get the ball in that man's hands as much as they can. So dangerous when he carries.
Balakoon, 11 tries this season now. Scored a hat-trick against Toulouse when he won Player of the Match. Down in Toulouse in the stadium, the football stadium. And Ulster won on the road. They have a good away record this season, Ulster, in big games. Stuart Moore takes that ball. They've won at Northampton, they've won at Clermont, they've won at Leinster. And here's Alan O'Connor.
Away now, one.
Tackle machine of the season. Success rate 97.5%. Over 200 tackles for him all told now. The Ulster number 4.
Okay, use it.
The gold train sets itself for Cooney. Very much back in this game now, or Ulster, taken by Lebock. And here's Warwick Gallant. Lionel Zass outside him, little switch ball to Zass, tackled by McCluskey. Very lateral from the fullback. Zass straightening things up, kicks off. Tips it back into the space between the two Ulster defenders. Stuart Moore comes across. Good ground gain. And you can be pretty certain they will challenge this Ulster line out.
He's looking for the 50-22. He was on the ball, he took the ball back in. I think that's what would have been said. Nonetheless, a very good kick. And just look as well, Robert, the size of the Stormers jumpers in that line out. Morat, Ori, and obviously Roos as well. I'm going to win the ball first if you're Ulster.
Into the tail, isn't it? Oh, it's gone too far, and Vermeulen almost getting hold of it. And Ulster do come away with it. Vermeulen doing enough in there. And they win the penalty as well, so they will get a chance here to exit from what looked like a rather treacherous and precarious position for a moment or two.
Not for us.
That's another big moment as well. We know, we've mentioned, so good over ball. It was a nightmare for Ulster earlier in the season. Gives away that penalty then. Scrappy line out, but they're out. You just see the ball going over. Great compete by Ori at the back of there against Vermeulen, who is actually surprisingly athletic in that line out. Of course he is, that's why he's in there jumping.
5-man called.
Got out of jail there though.
36 in July, James Vermeulen. And Herring to skipper Henderson.
More.
24 degrees is the temperature here in Cape Town today. Cloudy. You have to play under the extra burden of direct sunlight, Ulster. It's warm enough out there. Up goes Sinatla, Ciabello Sinatla, 230 tries. He scored for the South Africa Sevens side, pretty much a legend on the Sevens scene, carried on by Morat.
No. Too late. No.
Herschel Yankees was on the bench for all 3 tests for South Africa against the Lions last July. Sinatla competing in the air, but it's John Cooney as the ball Roos tries to get over Cooney. Now it's Andy Warwick, who's had a very fine season, carried by Tom O'Toole. In goes Kitch off the captain, and the Stormers win the turnover thanks to the cheerful, positive and engaging officer and a gentleman.
Well, if it wasn't going to be a penalty, it would have been a penalty for a neck roll from Andrew Warwick. See, Kitsoff just rise the tackle. Clear release, I'm not too sure, but he's clearly on the ball then. You can see Warwick misses that clear, goes around the neck, but nonetheless Kitsoff comes with a penalty.
You know, the Stormers won 6 penalties in the game in March against Ulster from jackals, from poachers.
Ulster on the 22.
See, the carry initially is very good.
On the 22.
See, there's enough
Just
separation. Mike Adamson feels the kit's off just to ride that tackle. And that's why there needs to be a clear release. So it gives the attacking clearers an opportunity to clean them out.
7-man.
Good attacking position here now. Kutsa goes straight to Damien Willems, back on the side after what was apparently a season-ending arm injury. Kicks off with the carry. 56 caps for the Springboks. With a ginger head, loose head, and Ulster turned the ball over very, very cleverly indeed.
No advantage, back for the knock-on. No. He's in the breakdown. Ninth lifted it, and he's taken the arm.
It's one of these laws that I loved Robbo as a player, but I don't like watching. Just slows the game down. Superkluski, right, he's in the breakdown. You see, he just takes the arm there. Purcell, Yanchis, he's not allowed to touch the ball.
He's inside the breakdown and he's taking your arm, not the ball.
Which is allowed. You see, internationally, I know he's got nothing to do with this game, but when you look at Maro Itoje, that's something that he does every time he plays. It's one of them. Used to love it as a player.
Really good. Same
I'd normally get yellow carded if I did it, but they seem to allow it now, Robbo. It's one of them which I think will be changed at some point, because it just brings us to this moment, doesn't it? Slows the game down completely. And as we know, the scrums take a little while to work through.
I was watching some of your cards on YouTube yesterday. You got a yellow against South Africa for pushing Etzebeth in the mush, and then a red. Double straight right on David Pace.
Yeah, that was back in the day. Game's moved on now, Robbo, but that is my legacy.
Here's Stuart Moore. He's got that good left foot as well. That fullback, much like Rob Carney, although fullback is not his position. Before this season, the last time he played there was at school for Dalriada. Difficult bounce for Cooney. In comes Manny Lebok. Cooney's away here though. Tackled by Ori, only half tackled in fact, as Tom O'Toole finds Billy Burns. He sees some space in behind, also needs the bounce. Billy Burns, brilliant. Billy Burns on the end of this, away goes Burns. He needs support. Can he flop the ball to a supporting goal shark? And it's Dion Fury, 35 years of age, but still amazing energy to get back there for the Stormers. Yankees gets it to the athletic Ruiz, already a try for him. Just 22 years of age. The future in that Springbok back row, you would expect. Yankees gives himself a little bit of room as Henderson tries to charge the ball down, and the ball outfoxes Vermeulen.
Now we're cooking, Robbo.
Yeah, time off.
A cagey 25 or so minutes, and rightly so. Two fantastic teams testing each other out. We've seen that physically, but actually opening up.
Yeah.
We saw the chip coming through from the Stormers, and then Billy Burns was down getting treatment. It bounced right for him, didn't it? There's a kick-on kick. Put Stormers into that coffin corner. It's a real shame. What a fantastic player Fury is.
Yeah.
Losing Fury is a huge blow.
Yeah. Yeah. Any issues?
Yeah, this is it here. Billy Burns doing what Billy Burns does with the chip over the regather, the double kick through. Then it's a foot race, isn't it? It's like they see him going back. Brilliant cover tackle. Of course it is. He just gets the look, doesn't he? I think Billy Burns goes for that offload.
Attack or defence. Okay. Yeah.
I don't think we see the guy in the black shirt. I wonder if he took a knock to the eye. Seemed to be swollen.
Any issues just now?
Could be an HIA for Dion Fury, who may return.
He was in the ruck.
Picked up that black eye early in the game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, an elbow. Okay. My goodness.
Okay, Ulster.
Oh, that's a nasty one, that.
I don't know yet.
Yeah, so it'll be a HIA for sure. John Cooney there, completely accidental, perfect body position.
Space.
Now Makaba is on, a little bit low in stocks of flankers here at the Stormers due to injury. Junior Pokamela, for example, he's on that injury list. He would have been the natural player probably to come in at this point. Taken by Vermeulen, now Rob Herring. And it's Stuart McCluskey. His brilliant post-contact meters this season. Over 55% of his carries have resulted in those post-contact meters. And here's McCluskey again. They've got a mark in. Look, 3 players on him, driving McCluskey back. Cooney to Alan O'Connor. Tackle from Marvin Orey. Cooney away for Burns. Pull back for James Hume, the wonderfully confident Hume. Balakoon for Stuart Moore. What an offload! What a try from Ulster as they carve up that Stormers defence.
Out of nothing. Absolutely nothing. Getting smashed back in the collision. We saw McCluskey made real meters on his first carry. On his second one, not so much. Just get the ball in Balakoon's hands. Just get the ball in his hands and he'll make something happen. That's 3 defenders in and around him. Offload with the right hand over the top.
Thank you.
To Stuart Moore. Just look, Hume puts the ball in his hands early. Look, step, inside. Defenders come in and it's a walk-in.
3 tries for Stuart Moore on the playoff stages, 2 against Munster last week. And what a wonderful pass again by James Hume. He showed that sizzling technique to some effect against Munster as well. He seems to put the ball in just the right place.
And he's the man of the moment, isn't he? When you speak about this Ulster team, he's been brilliant. And getting the ball through his hands, you listen to Dan McFarlane, one of the skills that he's been working on. And this is Ulster's evolution, Robbo, that we've seen over the last few weeks, is their ability to play in these wider channels and score some brilliant tries.
Hit the post the last time, John Cooney right between the sticks this time, and this is almost a repeat of the game in March, whenever the Stormers stretched out to a fast and early lead, and Ulster have bounced back immediately with 2 tries of their own.
It was a great slow-mo, wasn't it? Just seeing the pass there. You just saw the perfect pass into Balakoon's hands. And again, he's one of them players where you don't want to talk up too much. You know, you keep talking him up, and doesn't always deliver, especially when it gets to these high-pressure games. But my goodness me, he's delivered today.
You can see why the players are slipping. The pitch is really cutting up here in Cape Town. Off goes Moore again. Ivan Roos makes the first hit, helped by Murat.
Leave it.
Cooney to Tom O'Toole. Runs into Marvin Orey, who's the line-out specialist for the Stormers. Frans Malherbe trying to counter-ruck on his own. Pretty much gets some help from Bruce eventually.
Ball's out, ball's out!
Now Cooney. Ulster have it here through Nick Timoney. Scored a try against Munster. Showed that 7's pace, but unfortunately for Ulster, the offload did not stick.
Going to mention Rob Balakoon again, because you don't want to keep talking players up for talking them up's sake, but the skill set then off the box kick, and we saw the amount of pressure the Stormers were putting on that breakdown there. Cooney puts the ball high in the traffic, just this little hand just to tap that ball back. Somebody manages to regather, offloads to Evan Mullen, probably not expecting it there. An uncharacteristic error forces the knock on. There's a scrum on halfway.
Dwayne Vermeulen, 6 seasons with the Stormers, won the 2014 Super Rugby Player of the Year in his time in Cape Town. 89 Super Rugby appearances for the franchise from Cape Town. Ulster's big name signing, World Cup winner Vermeulen. Mike Adamson telling Yankees to use it. Goes to Manny Lebot, the ball pulled in behind again, they go to the boot. They do kick quite a bit, and that was an easy one for Stuart Moore, kicking the ball away. What was interesting last week against Edinburgh, whenever Bradbury went off the yellow card for Edinburgh, the Stormers kicked the ball a lot more.
Well, I think listening to John Dobson talk, he understands that there's a realisation against the teams that have been playing in the URC. I know it's called the URC now, but in the Pro 14 and the names it's had before, that the kicking strategy needs to be up there.
Up goes Moore again, not under vast pressure until Willems hit him. He looks pretty fit. Willems out was a doubt right until they named the sides on Friday at lunchtime. In comes Sinatla on O'Connor. Ulster have done remarkably well to recover from that 10-0 deficit.
Onside.
And both sides using the aerial route regularly. Up goes Gallant, put under pressure by Ethan McElroy. McElroy, the Ballymena boy, 6'2". Again, Yankees, by the way they're shaping the crocodile here, this one's going to go up in the air as well. It's out, is it? No.
The ball was out.
Yeah, the ball was out. The ball was out.
Yeah. Sorry.
He's given the penalty the wrong way then, hasn't he?
The ball was out, but you can't tackle the 9.
There's a few things. Yeah, there you go. So he's right.
The ball was out, can't tackle the 9. Yeah.
So Mike Adamson, we can just clear it up.
Yeah.
Said the ball was out. Andrew Warwick goes flying through. Probably doesn't really know what to do when the ball's out there, but you can't tackle the 9. You can pick the ball up.
So
You can kick the ball forward, but he can't tackle.
It came out and then you put it back under.
Yanchis, who didn't have his hands on the ball. I thought he had his hands on the ball for a split second, but
another tight one, bit like that line-out penalty against the Stormers. They're taking out Ian Henderson. Well, Manny LeBoc's kicking to the corner has been one of those mini products of high class. As he picked,
see, for me, well, he's got to lift it. Yeah, but if the ball's out, he doesn't have to. That's a big call, Robbo, because if the ball's out and he's got his hands on the ball, he's entitled to tackle him. So it's a poor call.
Does he have to lift it though?
No, the ball's out.
Once the ball's out, yeah, okay.
Good to go.
But we are talking about laws, and anyone who watched me play would know that I'm not got a clue about that, but I'm pretty certain on that.
Godwin Masimla comes on for Leland Zass, and they've lost their greatest strike runner in the left winger. Good maul defence by Ulster, driving the Stormers back. Kutsa again, already scored a try in this game from a driving maul. They're very close, as you can see there, to those Ulster posts. Yankees for Efandrus. Got to stop that athlete early. Get over the ball if you can. McCluskey almost did. Here's Yankees now. Diamani, haven't seen too much of him. Sub 11 seconds for 100 metres, the flanker. Now Nell, try score against Edinburgh. Diamani getting himself more involvement, tackled by Ray. Yankees as Kitchoff. Very often the tip-on man in that position, in the style of Tag Furlong.
Push it into him.
Yankees to LeBoc, looks around him, finds Damien Willems at the Springbok. Can he get through? Alan O'Connor makes the tackle, blindsiding him. Yankees and Gallant coming in from fullback. Tom O'Toole over the ball, set for Yankees though. Was beyond Diamani to Kutsa, and pouncing on it is Vermeulen. Read the game brilliantly there, the Ulster number 8, just waited for the error by the Stormers. Billy Burns clears, and that is massive relief again for Ulster.
Huge defence, massive defence, physical, 2-3 in the collisions, big carriers coming in.
Ulster on the line, please.
From the Stormers.
On the line.
It was just that big collision in the end. Textbook tackle by O'Connor that forces the knock-on for Dwayne Vermeulen to dive on it. We know that Ulster are a match physically for anyone in this URC competition.
Well, they've made a big impression in this tournament, the URC, the South African sides. 10 of the 15 in URC Dream Team from South Africa, or from South African franchises. 2 from Ulster, 2 from Munster. Here's Ruiz. Ruiz gets away. Warwick brings him down. On the front foot now. Masimla. Yankees. And here is Ruan Nell. Up comes James Hume, trying to get some tempo into their game, the Stormers. Yankees once more to Malherbe. Here's LeBoc. And that might work on the outside for Diamani. Tom O'Toole and Robert Balakoon making the tackles this time. Here is Murat. Ulster trying to isolate him through Henderson and McCluskey. Not quite managing to do so. Here's Ruiz once more, such a danger man. Chopped low by Timoney. Did he use his arms there? In comes Willems. Looks to get the offload away to LeBoc. Yankees now. Marvin Ori It's all the Stormers as we approach half-time. Manny LeBoc, little check, optimistic offload. Roos, the janitor, is there to sweep it up. Yankees again trying to work this big blind side against this Ulster defence. McCluskey again tries to get over that ball and steal it. Carried on by Morat. Ulster have made more tackles than any side in the URC, and they're having to tackle a lot here. In goes O'Toole, set for Yankees. Roos stands off, goes in behind him, and LeBoc decides to drop the goal. Is he successful?
22.
No. So good from Ulster defensively, physically. You said their most tackles in the URC, Robert. Their completion rate is phenomenal as well, the top of the log for that. But just the width and the physicality that they've got has forced Stormers for a desperation. I mean, not that I've ever taken a drop goal, but it seemed like a fairly easy drop goal. No line speed at all on the bot, but great phase defence from Ulster then.
Yeah, defensively their tackle completion rate, Ulster, is 91%. And Dion Fury, that's very good news for the Stormers to get their ace jackler back on the field.
And people think that defence is the most tiring aspect of playing. Of course it's tiring, but the longer you have the ball, the more phases you go through, the more likelihood is you're going to get turned over. You get out of shape, you get out of system, and it forces you into a snap decision to go for it seemed like a fairly easy drop goal, but a panic drop goal from the Stormers, and they've come away from nothing. So a massive win for Ulster.
If you did get cleared above the horizontal, we've not seen it.
And a great form, the Stormers. Since round 4, they've only played one game outside South Africa, and that was a 2-point loss at Connacht. They've won 9 in a row in the URC since losing in Galway in February. In fact, they've lost just once at home all season in the URC, a 37-19 defeat to the lowest finishing South African franchise, the Emirates Lions. That was in December. Stuart McCluskey's had a tremendous season as well. Both centres have 27 tries for Ulster now. 31 defenders beaten in a try against the Stormers in March when he crashed his way through most of that Stormers defence on his own.
We're going to look at a tip here.
McCluskey
from Holland,
turned over by Warwick Gallant. McCluskey had received quite a bit of treatment there from the Ulster doctor, Michael Webb.
Was there a lift there, Ben?
There was a lift slightly to the horizontal, and then he's put onto the floor. Mike, no foul play for me. It was all in the ruck.
Okay. You said it's no foul play. No foul play.
So
no foul
you'll be able to hear, I'm sure.
Okay.
Ben Whitehouse, the TMO, as Mike Addison checks that from the cauldron of the stadium, making calls on the run. It's been checked. It was definitely lifted. It didn't look as dangerous as they initially made out. Play on.
Marvin O'Reilly takes. Alan O'Connor makes the tackle. 2 minutes to go in this first half, and also with another turnover, and that's number 20 for the season for Marcus Ray.
Thank you.
Textbook, wasn't it? From the kick, chop tackle. I think it was Alan O'Connor with the low tackle. Marcus Ray, textbook turnover.
Yep.
And that's a huge moment, Robbo, just before half-time in terms of what we've seen. I thought it was a bad call from the referee initially around the breakdown against Andrew Warwick early on to put a bit of pressure on Ulster, having to defend, get through the phases. And they've come out of it so well.
Yeah, it's massive, that long defensive set and then that big turnover, and now they've popped the ball right into the corner.
Just see, don't you, the defenders working together. It was O'Connor with the chop tackle. And then look what that does. So you've come from your own try line effectively defending before half-time. Stats there speak for themselves in terms of how hard they've had to work.
Oh, Henderson fumbles the ball.
Going across.
And it's a penalty to Ulster. Going across the line out to Stormers. Steve Kitchoff complains to the referee, the skipper, but it's going to be a very kickable penalty here in the final minute. Ulster usually go to the corners, but this is knockout rugby, guys.
That's 4. There was it. Okay,
shows how quickly the momentum can shift.
What are we doing, Ian?
I don't know, there's some marginal calls, isn't there, that Mike Adams is having to make, and they're big calls as well. is it Morat going across the line out, which generally isn't the jumper's fault, it's the lifters pushing them in to that space. And I imagine Cooney, I think the tee's on.
Landed on the lifter, was it?
A kicker of his quality, and like you said, Robbo, it's a semi-final, mate.
Yeah, he lands on the lifter.
The Stormers have played at 5 previous semi-final matches that in Super Rugby, remove Currie Cup. They've won only one against the Waratahs at Newlands, the stadium down the road from here, in 2010. And they have a little bit of a reputation for bottling semi-finals. Is it going to happen again? Cooney to put Ulster into a 15-10 lead at the break, after being 10-0 down very early in this URC semi-final. Winners to play the Bulls. 1-point success against Leinster at the RDS last night, and Cooney adds those 3 points, and the gold shirts trundle away to the dressing rooms, and they will be delighted with how that first 40 minutes has turned out. 2 tries conceded early on, but then showing their own glitz and glamour on the back line, providing 2 Ulster tries as well. So the gold-shirted ones from Belfast leading in this second semi-final by 15 points to 10.
In Cape Town back in March, I wonder what this second half has in store. Let's hand back to our commentators, Jim Hamilton and Mark Robson.
Well, the Stormers 2 set play tries to start, but Ulster great defence and very clinical, very few chances, but tries for Moore and Balakoon. It looks like a good tactical template from Ulster so far after that shot start, but can they hold on in a massive 40 minutes? The reward, a URC final in Belfast against the Bulls. What should Ulster prioritise in the second 40, Jim Hamilton?
Well, Stevie mentioned it just then in studio, didn't he? Just carry on doing what you're doing. They've weathered the storm, no pun intended, at the start of the game. We know that Stormers are a fantastic team, but this is bread and butter for Ulster in terms of the tactical side, the kicking style that they can play as well, and just get the ball into Balakoon's hands clearly.
No.
And win these 50-50s as well, Robbo.
I'll go on 10 if you keep going.
Well, straight away, the Stormers coming in off their feet and giving a penalty straight to Ulster, so a chance for the men in the gold shirts to pump this one deep into the corner through Billy Burns and put the Stormers under pressure right at the start of this second half.
And when I say bread and butter, I mean that exit. So winning the ball cleanly, putting the ball high up in the sky, and making sure that the follow-up defence, like McElroy showed then, is spot on, and be patient.
Balunza on the bench for all 3 of the Lions Test matches, as was his scrum half. Here's Billy Burns, and it's Nick Timoney trying to run into that blind channel, hiding behind others. Timed it well. O'Toole's knocked the ball on though in contact. Ian Henderson tries to regather the ball, but too late for Ulster. That'll frustrate O'Toole.
Yeah, need to re-see it. I don't know whether Diamani actually got his hands on the ball. A fantastic turnover, as we'll see here. No, it isn't. No, you're right. It's a knock-on. Just falls on top of Diamani.
Okay.
Tom O'Toole does.
Okay, really good scrums first half. Same
standard.
standard.
Ulster have done very well this season. Is have players coming round the corner like that, but running from the blind spot, so the defence don't see them until very late.
And where that works, Robbo, is momentum. So they need to get the ball in the hands of guys like McCluskey, Vermeulen. We've not really seen him carrying, have we? Timoney, we've not seen too many of that. And that's where the momentum comes from. And then they can start bringing players from them blind shoulders. Cooney bringing players on his shoulder, and that opens up in the wider channels. Easier said than done. It's a semi-final in Cape Town against a team that are desperate to win this.
Already in, lads, just wait for the call. Both going in. Just hold the balance. Hold the balance. Let's go.
Ulster have an all-black tight head. Heading to Belfast next season, Jeff Tuamanga Allen. Really bad news from Leland's ass in that first half. Remember, 11 tries in 11 games this season. Well, he actually suffered a double leg break in 2017 in his career. really stalled for a long time from that point this season, the first one, when the Stormers have really seen what he's truly capable of.
Lovely looking scrum though, that, especially underfoot. Great profile, good to see the ball in and out.
Balk as Burns comes up, tries to charge him down. Good hands for, oh, Balakoon's done something there. There's a cramp on the calf, still going, but he's certainly hurt. It's Ray who offloads to James Hume.
Not held. No hands.
John Cooney digs it out for O'Toole, peels it back for Billy Burns to Stuart Moore, and that's one for Ethan McElroy to chase. He's going to have to chase a long way to get hold of that one.
You can see what he was thinking though. Stuart Moore, that's where the space was.
We put Ulster on the line.
Just out of his own half. Oh, it doesn't look good, does it?
Robert Balakoon was out for a long time with a very serious hamstring injury. Incurred during training. It came off the bone, actually. I'm not quite sure what he's done there, but he's in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
It looks like it was a muscle initially, wasn't it, when he just steps back on that right leg. You just see, oh, it's his hip. And that's never good, is it? It's not even a contact. It's like he's pulled up, which isn't good. I know we spoke about him in the first half, the influence that he had. But you just see, he doesn't stop, does he? He just carries on like nothing's happened, steps off that left foot, which wasn't the issue. Ridiculous. Evades.
It's not bad footwork if your hip or groin is just
yeah. So then that gets done by a one-legged Balakoon.
Very interesting statistic there. Ulster winning 11 of their previous 13 URC matches this season and leading at half-time. It's Ulster's 21st knockout match since they last won a competition, the league in 2006. They've won 8 of those. And for Dan McFarland, the coach, this is his 11th knockout match. 5 wins, 2 in the European Challenge Cup last season against Northampton and Harlequins. Edinburgh in the semi-finals, and Connacht in a European playoff game in Munster last week. And Balakoon, who was writhing in agony, is up on his feet and playing on, taken by Marvin Ori, who's been the most popular recipient of throws from the hooker at line-out this season.
There's nobody holding your leg.
70 now, he is claimed.
Don't come in the side. One stop. Don't come in the side.
Also been warned there about coming in from the side. Kutsa,
okay, nine, let's use
trial
it
ready
now.
For him in possession. Yankees to LeBock and pull back for Sinatla, coming in off that right wing, and then he loses possession. Surely knocked on in contact there as Stuart Moore flicks it back to Billy Burns. Sees some space long downfield. Can he exploit it?
Yeah, Balakoon's not going to be chasing that. He's going to go off in the next phase of play. He's now definitely injured as the game opens up, Robbo.
Here is LeBock and Diamani, one of the quickest players. He's a forward, but one of the quickest players on the field. If the game does open up, you want to get the ball into his hands. And as you say, they're starting to move the ball here. Are the Stormers? Here's Ruan Nell.
First man, turnover's good.
Great turnover by Ulster. Magnificent work again. And that's where they've done a fair bit of damage in this game so far.
Use it. Leave it.
Cooney to Ray. Wasn't looking for quick ball. John Cooney was quite happy to wait for it to come back slowly because he knows exactly what he's going to do next. Did a lot of this in the first half. As I said, that tactical template worked out pretty well. Warwick Gallant takes the ball and a hefty tackle for Timoney. Look at Henderson, the work rate there. Here is Ruas. O'Toole and Warwick, the 2 front row forwards, make the tackle. Yankees back to the hoof forward, and Stuart Moore covers the space, calls for the mark.
I'm going to mention him again. Robert Balakoon is going to go off injured, but his last action was a spot defence, chop tackle.
I didn't see what happened, but I don't want to see it again.
Which started the flow of some Ulster defence again, in terms of the physicality, forcing the Stormers to kick. A fairly easy kick as well to field, slows
lads,
the game down.
The game's still going. Get behind the ball.
He's still on the pitch.
I can't hear anything.
Trying to rub off that
Sorry,
hip,
what's happening?
What looks like a Dr. Lobson hardly qualified hip
Okay,
flexor injury, but no, he is going to go off. You're quite right, Jim Hamilton, and Ben Moxham comes on to replace him. That's a big blow for Ulster should they make the final next week. Their ace try scorer doesn't look as if he will be in a fit state to play in 7 days' time.
And fair play to him for staying on and making that final tackle. You could say it was a last-ditch tackle as well. There's an overlap on the outside of him. You know, there's a summer tour as well, and that's giving to the cause of your team. You could just lie down on your back, couldn't you, waiting for whatever to happen next. But no, the game, naturally, there's injuries, and it moves on.
No more.
Stormers haven't really been up to much, have they? From an attacking sense, for large parts of this game. But as we know, they're a fantastic team. They can score tries as well.
Again, it's Marvin Orey. How good was that Bulls line out last night for the RDS?
One stop.
And physical they were too, slowing the game down, not allowing Leinster to get into their flow or rhythm.
There you go. There you go. Up again. Okay, now let's use it now.
Out of the way by Diamani.
Don't change. Don't change.
Henderson wants to go here. Wants to wait for Yankees round that blind side. Delivers the ball for Diamani. Moxham makes the tackle. Definitely getting Diamani off the ball a bit more now. The Stormers. Here's Kitsoff. O'Connor looking for that offload there, wasn't he? Here's Yankees for LeBock, and Ruiz has dropped the ball. Here comes James Hume. He takes a look up. He sees the space. He thinks in behind that defence. Was he outside the 22?
Yeah, I think he was, yeah. So, 2 big errors in that phase. I say that, it was only a knock-on, but in the context of it, or what could have been.
Your shoulders come off.
For Ulster.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no worries.
You see that tip pass, it's bread and butter for Ruiz, especially with how well he's playing.
Okay.
It's just a snap kick, isn't it, by James Hume, goes straight out. Gives Stormers a...
Let's go, lads, please. Let's bind up. Yep.
In 2012 that the Stormers topped the Super Rugby standings, and that's the game they are, through legend, supposed to have bottled. The semi-final at home to the Sharks. Well, they're going to do it again here at home to Ulster.
Crouch!
Obviously coming back from this scrum, no advantage from that knock-on from Ruiz.
Set! Slit.
Slip, says Mike Adamson. And away comes Billy Burns. Beautiful pass. McCluskey's line. Here's Billy Burns. Ulster can be deadly in positions like this. John Cooney puts in that little slice banana kick. And out of play it goes eventually. But Ulster, who have been so clinical with taking their chances in this game, were almost in there again.
No.
That was lovely, wasn't it? The scrum, they had to go. McCluskey in some open space. We saw that last week. Ball back inside to Billy Burns, who he passed to originally. And Cooney, we know he's good with the ball on the foot. But it's the defence, isn't it, from the Stormers that want... Well, you can see the morning shot, the desperation to get back.
Ready? Six called. Get eyes up the front, Sam.
Shows the desire from them. Bounce to the ball. Goes the Stormers' way, but it's a line out to Ulster in a fabulous position.
And they score so many tries from these positions. Alan O'Connor takes it, former Ulster Player of the Year, turning with 31 tries for Ulster to his name. Born in Cape Town, but very much an Ulsterman. Spent over 10 years with the province now. But the Stormers bring it down and win the turnover. That could be a big moment.
Hate that as well. Loved it as a player. Absolutely loved it as a player, but as a spectator, you just see, to be fair, Ulster did really well.
We had them inside through the middle.
Rob Herring makes the right decision to roll out of there. You could argue it was a tackle. Rob Herring was arguing that it was a tackle, therefore the tackler needs to roll away. Mike Adamson deems it's still a maul.
Okay, let's go.
So hence when it goes down, you can't pull a maul down. The laws of rugby, trying to explain them to the casual fan. And I'm sure there's a few of you out there watching this.
Feet just a bit closer, just make sure we don't slip. Feet just a bit closer.
Through there with the face on another good love. He's taken a bit of a battering today. Black eye, lips bleeding, teeth shattered. That may have been the design of his gum shoe.
The scrums this game have been so good. Both teams wanted to scrummage. You mentioned like profile visually to look at that front row from the Stormers. They look bigger than that Ulster front row, but actually they're not. There he is. Nice close up. Yeah, he's taken a few, I think, for the cause.
Such a cult figure when he was down in France with Lyon and Grenoble. Incredible battler. He was on the bench in the 2010 Super Rugby final, wearing number 16, the replacement hooker that day. Hooker in the earlier years switched to the back row.
Sets!
Some great versatility from Dion Fury.
Yes,
before 35 at 5 years of age now.
Hold in front!
And the clearing kick from Manny Lebok gets a lot of distance on it. He does kick the ball beautifully.
Well, there you go. That's not an easy kick either, is it? Yanchi's passing straight back from the base. Tight angle. I know he's not quite on halfway, but certainly releases the pressure. Forced to go slightly different here.
Yeah, it's down the
Got a
arms.
bit of joy of hitting McCluskey up in first phase, getting over that gain line.
Thank you.
Maybe go a bit more old school, send Timony around the corner, Vermeulen, try and get on the front foot.
Ulster's 10th appearance in a URC semi-final. There's a bit of disruption in that line out there. Certainly not clean. Ulster retreating.
Advantage over.
Cooney takes the safe option of the kick while under pressure.
No, the line out was in the half, then I got carried back. No.
Again, calling for a 50-22.
The line
got
out was
carried
in
back
this
in.
side, and then it got taken
Vermeulen
back.
going up. Oh, it's just over either. I mean, it's great competition by the Stormers, isn't it? Scrappy play. Yeah, you just see knock it back in. Tapped it back into the half. Nonetheless, a really good kick. Would have been a 50-22 if it was not passed back into his half and regathered.
Ulster's 10th semi-final URC, progressed to the final twice before, beating the Scarlets 28-17 in Belfast 2013, and then Edinburgh 22-19 at Murrayfield in 2020 in Madigan with a late penalty there to squeeze Ulster home. Here's Herring. Ulster on that front foot again through John Cooney. Here's James Hume. Little goose step that he has. Cooney again for Andy Warwick. Cooney, Ray, in comes Ruiz. Sets it well, does Marcus Ray. Now Stuart McCluskey pulls it up, lovely hands. Beautiful deception by Ulster. Stuart Moore now for Ben Moxham. Big boy, well over 100 kilograms. Cooney, Nick Timoney. Score of one of Ulster's 5 tries against Munster. Ooh, thought Nell was going to intercept there. Burns, they might take advantage of it now. Have they exposed themselves? The Stormers, as James Hume goes. Dion Fury comes across to make a critical tackle. Now it's Tom O'Toole. What defence by the Stormers. Here's Andy Warwick. Only 2 tries in his Ulster career.
No hands!
No hands, said Mike Adamson. He was very clear in his instruction.
You're the second man in. Clear
What could easily have been a yellow card, professional foul, so close to the line.
Well, you can see the rage.
Clear out, and then he was the second man in. He can't take the ball.
On the Stormers' face, they thought that Warwick Hallant was perfectly fine for the steal. Mike Adamson said he was the second man in, the ruck was already formed. As we see the physical exchanges.
Okay,
I mentioned Andy Warwick there. He's got through a barrel of work as well. The collision's ferocious. That's the, I mean, I can't see much wrong with that.
You know, as the boys were saying in the studio at half-time, there's been some very, 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 very tight calls,
there's the
right or wrong.
Line's the middle. Line's the middle.
The only thing that matters is
Line's the
Adamson.
middle.
Exactly.
So it was an Ulster penalty.
Get the space.
You've got to go with that, haven't you?
Let's get them on the line.
You've
They're
got
on
to
the
stay
line.
in it mentally.
Need to nail this throw, and they have done to Alan O'Connor.
Ball.
Stormers done a pretty good job at disrupting this driving maul from Ulster. Rob Herring breaks free, almost gets to the line. Sinatla makes the tackle and Ulster knock on, and yet another opportunity from one of Ulster's traditional strengths, the driving maul, goes slipping away.
Sinatla, what a tackle. Rob Herring through fault rather than really talk absolute rubbish.
Ulster adding to their massive tackle count for the season, over 2,800 coming into this game.
Let's go, let's
Ulster
go,
in
let's
the
go.
final 2 seasons ago when they lost 27-5 to Leinster at an empty Aviva Stadium. You might remember James Hume try after 3 minutes then. James Lowe, Robbie Henshaw, Caelan Doris all scored tries for Leinster. And Ulster also in the final 2013 when they also lost to Leinster. And the Heineken Cup final 2012, you've guessed it, lost to Leinster.
Set!
No sight of Leinster this season. Champions 4 years in a row. It'll be either the Bulls, Ulster or the Stormers who win this trophy this season. Billy Burns is caught in possession. Back goes Moore. Pressure comes in from Nell. Knock on, Ulster advantage. Cooney thrashes the ball. Long way downfield. Here is Manny Labok. He's pacey. He's played fly half, centre, wing, fullback. Dion Fury, the 35-year-old, breaks away. Surely that's forward to Yankees. Mike Adamson, is he going to call it back as off goes Fury in support? He has. You can hear the whistle. You can hear the whistle.
Stormers are thinking, you had one, Ulster, in the first half. We ain't having that. But that one was definitely forward, looked more forward than the one that we saw in the first half.
Forward pass.
Balakoon's try. You can hear the boos in the stadium.
Forward pass.
But that's the Stormers that we've come to see this season, isn't it? Physical in the contact, getting over the gain line. The bot there with the offload. Free as well. You can just see it's, I want to say, a mile forward. But much easier to call than that one in the first half. Depends who you're supporting.
And that, of course, was on the counter from the Stormers. They've scored 14 tries on the counter-attack this season. That's 23% of their total tries, which just gives you an indication as to how dangerous they can be.
And they're going to have to take some risks as well, Robbo, to win this game now. And there's only 5 points in it.
Maxwell Harvey goes off, replaced by Niefling Fichet, who scored a try against Ulster with the Cheetahs in a previous life. Three seasons ago, his debut for the Cheetahs it was.
Scrums have been really
but there's a lot of emotional involvement here from the 30,000. That's the maximum allowed in this Cape Town stadium. Set right on the coastline.
Okay, let's go, let's go.
Within skipping stone's throw from the beach.
I wonder how many of them knew about the URC when the South African teams came in at the beginning. Obviously no fans, not much hysteria. They were in a completely different place, weren't they? Obviously travelled up to Europe in COVID bubbles as we were opening life back up. I think they know about it now, especially if you're a Bulls fan.
And remember that the DHL Stormers were the best represented side in the URC Dream Team announced this week, contributing 5 players. Ruiz, Zas, Willemse, Sinatla and Gallant. 4 backs in there. And can those backs produce the try that the Stormers so desperately need now as Stuart Moore goes into contact? Nell makes the tackle. Screaming for the penalty are the Stormers. And the emotional involvement stretches now from the stands to the field.
Willemse again, so good over ball, isn't he? Skins I'd mentioned in the studio, speaking about him before, how important he is to this team. So important, isn't it? You just see, apparently had an arm problem, and that's the arm that's in the middle of that fire.
You can see why they were so desperate to get him back into the side for this game.
Well, that's it, Robert. It is these moments, isn't it? You know, these breakdowns. Look, you know, that's 3 or 4 bodies trying to clear him out there. And Ulster know how good the Stormers are around the breakdowns, so mentally that's them in that space to try and clear bodies. He still comes away with the turnover.
Yep.
Looks like that left arm's got steel scaffolding round it. I'm sure it was checked. Here's Kutsa, and it's Diamani who takes the ball. Going for the safer one at the front. Using the flexible, athletic Diamani.
Hold here.
Now Lebok, can they create something through Ruan now? Then comes McCluskey trying to rip the ball free. One of these specialist services he delivers for this Ulster side, Diamani.
7 offside.
There's an offside coming here.
No,
Henderson
leave him.
tries to poach the ball and then pushes the scrum half, plays the scrum half Yankees, but he was playing a penalty advantage. Mike Adamson.
Number 7 offside.
Against Nick Timoney.
Yeah, it's not against Henderson. There's obviously a bit of hysteria.
Gets lifted, he's allowed to play the arm.
So Mike Adamson just explaining to Stephen Kitsoff, the captain,
once
and
you've lifted it,
Yankees,
that's no issues.
as soon as he lifts the ball, Henderson can whack the arm. Spoke about it in the first half, but the penalty anyway was against Nick Timoney for being offside. And they're not going for the sticks, Robbo.
Wow, what a call, right in front of the post to make it a 2-point game, and they've gone for the corner. Has it gone too far? Is it just inside the post? There's Timoney, just watch Timoney here. I think that's where the call came.
Scrum.
He's missed it.
He has. I thought it was close. It was very, very tight. And that's a massive mistake. Scoreline, if they'd gone for the post, would have been, you would think, with Lebok's success rate, 15-13, but look where the Stormers are now. Is that one of those micro moments that totally shifts the momentum of a match?
Well, this is what it is at knockout rugby, isn't it? These big moments that you have to nail. And that's a big moment. Not to go for the 3 points. Fairly straightforward from the Bok. I know he's not got a kick yet this game. Decides to go for the corner. Just misses it by inches, but it may as well be miles because Ulster have now got the scrum. They've been decent at the scrum. It should be an easy exit for them, get out a free jail card.
The Ulster scrum has been relatively solid. Oh, against that Stormer scrum. They're getting it out quickly, aren't they? Billy Burns, as far as he can kick it. Ulster coming up on a line. Off goes Gallant. Oh, that's a good line in there from Masimla, but a good defensive set from Ulster again as Ray tries to get his hands on the ball. Gallant goes in at scrum half. Murat. Yankees back to Manny Lebok. And it's straight forward for Ulster and Ethan McElroy to call for the mark.
Yeah, just managed the halfway line. You can see he probably didn't want to kick. Look, even the crowd are thinking you normally run that on halfway, but I think Masimla got absolutely smoked by Ben Moxham. Just slowed the ball right down.
Okay, time off. I'm just going to let him finish doing his boot up.
Tell you what I find relatively amusing, being a tough Ulster, is the number of fans in the stadium wearing parka jackets, and it's 24 degrees. It's a cold day in Cape Town, is it, Jim?
I've been to South Africa a few times.
Okay,
and,
time on.
as you can probably hear by the North Hebridean accent, living up in the Highlands of Scotland, I feel the warm, and I can imagine a vest would be my go-to, a pair of Bridgie Smugglers.
I think Rob C. Nesbitt. Oh, and he's misjudged that, McElroy, and in comes Diamani. Grasped by the boot by Cooney. Now Kitsoff getting into the rhythm, showing some power, a bit of brutality now from the Springbok loose head. The latch on was perfectly timed as well. And here's Willemse, the excellent Damien Willemse to Sinatla. Sinatla gets the offer away to Ruan now. Is this the moment when the Stormers take the lead? Fouché, two of Ulster's front row make the tackle. Yankees, Gallant, little dummy from Gallant. He's nearly through. Yankees waits for the ball, goes wide to Marvin Orey. Vermeulen makes the tackle, and a ball slips away.
No release.
You could argue that's a yellow card with the momentum. I don't think Mike Adamson will give it. Last 15 minutes, big momentum shift in terms of the physical aspect and the ball in hand, the carry.
Just wait. Can you go back behind your line, please? Stephen, what are you doing?
Oh, they're going for scrum. They're not even taking the penalty. James Hume telling Mike Adamson that he saw the tee on the pitch. Big shot by Vermeulen. It's after this that we'll see.
2, 5 and 6.
Oh no, it wasn't Vermeulen, I thought it was. Hume came in.
Well, 2 massive calls. One when they went to the corner and missed the corner, ball went dead. Now they've gone for the scrum. 2 eminently kickable penalties right in front of the posts.
There's been a slight shift at scrum, I feel. Covers on for 3 full time, but there's been a slight shift. We saw it in the last scrum, didn't we? A slight creak.
Time on.
In that Ulster scrum in terms of going back just a couple of inches, and maybe Kitsoff feels that even with the new look hooker and tight end on with him.
Yeah, Fender is on as well as Cabot. There's more pace now in the back row, perhaps a little bit less coaching ability, but a lot of gas.
Bang!
Lewis, Diamani, and now Cabot.
Behind the ball. Behind the ball.
Trying to get that second heave in at scrum time, the Stormers. Yankees goes in, flicks it to Gallant. Now it's Manny Labotte. He's beaten 32 defenders this season. It's a dangerous runner with ball in hand. Yankees once more. Big carry and drive from Adre Smith. And Ulster win the penalty. And it's Dwayne Vermeulen who gets over the ball. 6 years at the Stormers. And it's at moments like that that Vermeulen produces that kind of magic.
Yeah, you could see it coming, Robbo. That scrum, Yankees just go through a backdoor pass.
Lads, please go back 10 after the penalties. Can you go back 10, please?
Well, if that turnover gets Ulster to the final, he's worth his wage.
Yeah.
And they weren't going anywhere, were they?
On ball
they were looking
no
for
effect on the clear out. Instantly on ball, no effect on the clear out.
A different direction. Sorry, just listen to Mike Adamson explain to Kitsoff, which we already know that Dwayne Vermeulen was unmovable in that position. And these are the big moments. Not taking the posts, going for the scrum. It was a scrappy scrum.
Good to go.
A ridiculous reverse pass. Yankees to no one. Slow play.
Well, it's interesting, certainly Ulster have won all of the big moments in their own 22 in the last 10 or 15, 20 minutes. Turning the ball over.
Go, yeah. Time on.
And the Stormers continuing to make the wrong decisions and then make the errors. Billy Burns looks to have maybe cramped up a little bit as well there as he kicked that ball into Henderson. But look at Vermeulen's positioning.
Yeah, it's not actually a great tackle by Henderson. It's a soak tackle, but it's effective because you've got a player like Vermeulen just hunting around. We know how good he is. We've spoken about Ivan Rouge in terms of his carrying ability, but
went down far
so
side.
Impressed with Dwayne Vermeulen. You could say, oh, he's taking a paycheck to go to Ulster. I don't believe that.
Was that a straight throw? Ian Henderson takes the ball. Vermeulen very clearly supporting his own body weight in there, getting his hands on the ball.
Okay, use it.
Herring being told to use it. Away goes, takes on Fenter. Tackle comes in from Cabot. Trying to counter luck here. The Stormers need some help. John Cooney arrives in the form of Vermeulen. Here's Kieran Treadwell. Added to his cap count this season in the Six Nations after 5 years away from the Ireland setup.
Onside.
Again, Cooney goes to the air with that box kick. It's going to rumble out of play.
That's the bread and butter, Robbo. When you speak about the kicking game, when the ball goes high.
I understand. They need to get that frustration.
And as much as the Stormers, the counter-attack's really good. Some fantastic players. And small moments.
Okay, time off.
Box it goes up from Cooney.
Okay, well, good time. There's time off. There's a player down. Where was it? Ben, I've got an allegation of a gouge. On,
I did see this. I didn't think it
what number you got on? 5.
Was a gouge,
5.
but it's clear as day with the hand in the face, so we'll get a clear vision of it.
Yeah, it was while Henderson was standing up, wasn't it? I'll see it again here at the line. Just watch Ian Henderson closely after the ball is delivered. Just watch his face here.
Yeah. Andre Smith.
As the hand comes in.
You see that right hand as he's swimming through. Henderson's doing a really good job, Robbo.
It's just there, just there. Just
now.
there.
Let's see, we've had an allegation. We're just having a look, see if there's any hands in the eye area.
Maybe the second dab.
We've got anything tighter than that, Ben?
Repeat that, sorry, Mike.
Have you got anything tighter than that? Is there anything clear?
I've just asked now.
Okay. I'll have one more look.
I'm looking for a tighter angle, a tighter shot.
We're just checking to see if there's any hands in the eye.
We should have a tighter angle, Mike. We're just going to get it now, mate.
Might have been the last moment of contact from Smith here.
If there's anything clear.
Here's your angle.
Okay, can you see that, or do you want my opinion on what's happening?
Yeah. So we've got his hand reaching round into the face. Is that clear?
That's correct, yeah. They're obviously fighting the position in the maul.
Yeah.
But his hand is in the face of the yellow player.
Yeah.
And it's in and around the eye area.
It is in and around the eye area. So
correct.
So we'll just clear the facts. What number have we got? Number...
I haven't been shown a back angle of it yet, Mike. We'll ask for the angle again.
So the blue player's got his hand clearly in the face, and we've got clear contact with the eye or eye area.
That is correct.
Okay, can we just confirm the number, because that's a serious act of foul play. That has to be a red card because there's hands and fingers in and around the eye area. He knows where the face is. He knows he can't put his hand into the face.
It's the player on screen now, Mike. We're trying to get his number.
Okay. This player? Yeah.
I believe it's 19.
Sorry.
Yes, it's number 19.
Yeah, so we've got hands and fingers in the eye area, and you can't do it.
Yeah, we're just letting it unfold here, Robbo, just to try and digest it, because Andre Smith is about to be red carded.
Yeah, where you are, that.
Hard one to call, but you're going to put your hands in someone's face and near the eye area, whether or not the finger goes deep or it just glances an eye. I've been gouged, and I can tell you now,
Show them all.
it's not nice. Ian Henderson isn't a player as well, Robbo, as we know. We've watched him for years, played against him, that would make an allegation or a complaint. And Mike Adamson, as simple as that, with Ben Whitehouse as TMO, has whipped out the red card, and it was as clear as that for them.
Well, if you take the risk, as Andre Smith did there, and going close to another player's eyeball, eye area, especially in such open view, and that's what can happen. Red card. So Herring goes to the tail. It's well taken by Ray.
Saka's good.
Not a huge moment for this Ulster side. We'll be able to play against 14 men now for this final 9 minutes. Can they keep that composure? Kingspan Stadium awaits in a home final. Off goes Henderson. They'll need some big leadership out there to be delivered by the likes of the number 5. Billy Burns sees a half gap, almost through. Ulster flood in. Here's Cooney, carried by Eric O'Sullivan. On for Andrew Warwick now. Big shift from Warwick, 70 minutes from Ulster starting loosehead. Treadwell ships it on to Ray. Of course, a penalty would do Ulster well now here, wouldn't it, to put them more than a converted try clear, especially in a position like this underneath the posts. Cooney, Burns, little flat ball for Stuart Moore, brought down by Boucher. He has a great work rate, the replacement tight head, by the way, as he showed there. Ray into contact.
How do you get?
Cooney to Burns. Oh, they can't make mistakes like that. Ulster. Hume has to sweep up. Does well. Cooney is going to launch this one down the field again as quickly as he can.
Carried back.
But the scrum half is back there. Yankees. Gallant. Got to attack now, don't they? The Stormers. Sinatla outside Gallant. Here's Ciabello. Sinatla. Can Sinatla reach the line before Ulster's defence covers through Stuart Moore? Great tackle by Gallant. Sinatla comes in, targets the ball. Great recovery by Ulster.
It really is, Robert. They're on the ropes. They're absolutely hanging. I think that the travel and the physicality of the game. Billy Burns is struggling as well. I think we'll see Madigan soon if they can get the ball off the pitch.
Use it!
But yeah, they are struggling. There's some tired bodies out there.
Stuart Moore goes back to use that left foot, and the relief of the touchline, but they're going to keep the tempo going here, are the Stormers, and they're away again. Oh, great footwork. Hume makes the tackle. Villains, what a match he's had.
No!
Brilliant in attack, superb over the ball defensively. Carry from Morat. Manny Lebok, Ivan Druis. Ulster have managed to keep him relatively quiet, and he still scored a try. He still made some inroads. Here's Lebok, surrounded by Gold. Henderson gets over that ball. Does he steal it? Referee says hands, I think, beyond the ball against Henderson.
It's the right call. It's the right call then. Henderson has the second bite of the cherry when it's not on. And it feels like Ulster are on the ropes. See a few players going down with cramp now. The Bok nowhere to go really. Henderson just the tackle, no clear release. Right hand's on the floor there. Ball kind of bounces up in his hand really, as opposed to going for the turnover, and he takes it.
5 hands on the ground. Off it. We're just making a change for you.
I mean, you're at the point now, Robbo, where if you're the Stormers, you've got to go to the corner now. I don't think there's any point in taking the 3.
Okay, happy to go.
Van der Ridden
Good to go.
is on, covering that shock of blonde hair with his head guard. Captained the Stormers against the British and Irish Lions last summer, Van der Ridden.
What a finish we've got on our hands.
It's terrifying. It's worse than that Jurassic Park sequel.
There's the mark. Eyes up around the front, Adam.
See if the Stormers can nail one of their big dinosaurs here and get over that Ulster line. If they do so, it could be the winning try.
Time off, number 6.
Ulster heaving hard. No altitude to worry about here at sea level, of course, in Cape Town. Ulster bring on Matty Ray, Marcus's elder brother.
Time on.
What a moment this would be to steal a line out. Replacement hooker Fenter. Fender goes straight for Van der Ridden. First activity was to win that line-out ball for the replacement. Fenter, in comes Ruiz.
Okay, now.
Ulster defending as powerfully as they can. Fender, they're still going here.
That's great patience by the Stormers.
Brilliant drive by the Stormers. They're getting so close here. So close, so close, so close. Mike Adamson gets as near to the ball as he dares here. He doesn't want to get too close to that.
Oh, massive call.
Oh, turnover. Oh, my goodness. Is he right, or was that a bum steer? But what a time for a turnover. The Stormers cannot believe it. They were so close to grounding the ball with what would have been, you think, potentially a match-winning try on their red card with 14 men, but somehow Ulster have turned the ball over here.
Right, we'll get a look at it now, won't we? So we mentioned that Venter, patience at the back there, but then goes for the try line, doesn't he? Goes to try and score it, but he doesn't. He's short, and then the Ulster lads, we see more than we kind of vote for, and a bit of lunch there as well, but
no.
The ball's not coming out of there, is it? So Ian Henderson, all that matters is winning and getting the turnover at that line out.
Stormers, good to
Big
go.
call, in my opinion. That was the right call then. It's one of these nuances around the laws of the game which are frustrating sometimes.
Okay, let's go, Ulster.
But if you're Ulster, you're Ian Henderson.
Time on.
You don't need to move.
He's giving flesh and blood today, Ian Henderson. Perhaps showing a little bit too much flesh on that occasion.
Nice,
but the most important thing is that
ball.
Ulster have put into this scrum, and look at that clock.
Let's
and
go.
they will be at top turbo on the dial now, the Stormers, with this scrum. Big one for Fouché, and Stephen Kitchoff, the captain, looks like he's going to play the full 80 minutes here. He's a member of the bomb squad in the World Cup. He used to come on for the Beast in the second half with Malcolm Marks and Vincent Koch.
Set, hold.
Cooney, they get it away quickly so often. Ulster put Timoney at number 8 there to use his extra pace off the base. Just gives them an extra half a metre or so. Cooney back to Moore again. They use his big left foot. And what a good decision, and what a good kick under that pressure.
Unbelievable. You get 80-22 from that position under loads of pressure at the breakdown. Cool, calm and collected by Moore.
Many moments as that now that Ulster have survived intense pressure inside their own 22. Some of the Stormers' decision-making, you might think questionable, but it's easy to say that in hindsight. When they made those errors, when they missed touch, when they turned the ball over. Brock Harris is on, 37 years of age now. Over 100 games for the Stormers and the Dragons, so much experience. Was the tight head starter in the Super Rugby final 12 years ago for this team. Up goes Diamani.
Advantage in the air.
Advantage here now to the Stormers again. Roos trying to come on hard, the ball makes the error.
You'd want that penalty early as well. 3 minutes left on the clock. Kick to the corner. Ulster on the ropes. Can they survive?
Ruin, are you captain now?
It was a slow start, Robbo.
Okay.
To the URC, it was a slow start. We're just going to see the penalty here. Trevor Rowlett just across the line, is it? Just his arm, his right hand.
That's nothing in the air, straight up and down.
Diamani. I said it was a slow start to the URC, wasn't it? With everything, all the restrictions, lack of travel, lack of fans. But my goodness me. In the semi-finals now, it just feels like a completely different competition.
Finter, the calls come from Murat. Ulster steal it again. That critical moment has been won by goal. Getting fingertips to the ball time and time again inside their 22. It's Ulster who have shown magnificent survival instinct.
And use it!
Cooney again for the kick. He's box kicked pretty well. Competitive box kicks, that one for touch. And it's deep enough across the touchline that Sinatla, he wanted to go quickly, but he wasn't able to. The goal shirts were up, quick in defence, closing down that space. A minute and a half to go.
There's your mark.
Hold on to your defibrillators.
Big focus now, lads.
You hear on the ref mic, one of the Ulster players, discipline, this is our season. And they're right.
Stay in the 15.
From an Ulster perspective, keep your discipline. Your defence has been good for large parts of the game. Physically, you're there.
This time Van Bryn takes it. Here is Manny Lebock. This could be the last chance. Ruin Nell hunted down by James Hume. Nell almost gets away, scragged by Hume.
Push back here.
Yankees.
Okay. Carry
from Murat Henderson. Again, tries to get himself into a poaching position. Willemse has been excellent all through this game. Springbok inside centre. Off goes Fenter. His father Andre, 66 caps for the Boks. Now Gallant inside. Ulster, the top tacklers in the URC this season, have got to make sure they add to that count and keep up their percentage of over 90% as well. To seal this game, Gallant, that look forward. Play on, says Mike Adamson. Yankees for Fouché. 10 seconds to go. Yankees, Gallant now, Van Roos. Roos tries to bump Billy Burns and Cooney out of the way. Ulster over the ball. Vermeulen, did he steal it? No, he didn't. Here's Gallant. Tackle from O'Sullivan. Here is Roos. The Hoover goes. Ulster again, desperate to get their hands on the ball. Van Ryn, it's pulled in behind. Manny Lebock. Here's Ruin now. Sets it brilliantly for Lebock. He tries to go through Vermeulen.
Advantage on the ground making the tackle.
Big
this
call.
Man on the ground making the tackle.
Free play, Robbo.
Advantage here to the Stormers. Yankees hauls the ball out. Good defence by Kieran Treadwell. Gets Kaba on the back foot, but Mike Adamson brings them back for this penalty.
Clearly on the ground making a tackle.
You ran into me, eh?
You still made a tackle.
Hardly speak to me in Vermeulen, he's so exhausted.
Well, one thing's for certain, they're not going to take the three. So I imagine a tap and go is your best option, especially with Lebock. He's not been great off the tee in terms of go into the corner, they might go try and score off the line at 5 points with a tough kick to win it.
Saw a brilliant pick and go last night, didn't we, from the Bulls? Little switch play, a scissors close to the line, which ended up on a try.
What a finish.
Oh, it's an absolute epic. Made some mistakes as well, Lewis, but still getting 39 metres from his 11 carries. Of course, he can be deadly with that pace off the base. Evan Roos, we've seen it all through this season.
Good to go. Scrum.
Face on Tom O'Toole there. Completely focused, total concentration.
Good stability, wait for the ball.
Yeah, pressure,
good stability,
not
wait
just
for the
on
ball.
the Ulster players, the Stormers players, but also the man in the middle as well, Mark Adamson.
Get out when the ball's available.
Hoping not to have to make a big call.
Yes.
Versatile Brock Harris, tight head all those years ago in that Super Rugby final with loose head now. The replacement, Stormers front row, their own very own bomb squad.
Down far side.
I can't stop my left knee jiggling.
Let's move it this way, please.
What am I going to do?
Oh, was that Adam? Sorry. Okay, higher bind. You take the weight. Go step back.
There we go. Let's go take the weight, boys.
Good bind, good height.
Blue Balls lads watching this. They're either getting on a plane in the next few hours or they're staying put.
Their flights aren't booked until tomorrow.
Sorry, lads.
From
Your
Dublin.
back there. Your
So
nine
they
wasn't
need to
ready.
come to Cape Town. At the moment, they're in Belfast.
First call was to get 9 here, not a crouch call.
Listening
Okay,
to
let's
us.
go.
Yeah.
Big shout out to them. No one saw that coming apart from people within that camp. Outstanding last night, as both of these teams have been today.
Such a draining experience as well for the two sides. Extremely punishing 82.5 minutes.
Set! Give a height!
So Yankee speeds, Evan Roos. In comes that shove on that drive. Ulster doing their best to defend it on the scrum. It's going to be another reset.
No, not a reset.
Well, that's the wrong call, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But arguably, you think Stormers would have gone for the scrum anyway.
Oh,
It's cramp.
Okay.
I'm a physio, but
Is that?
not surprised. The amount of work that must go through those quads and those scrums, especially against these massive heavyweight South African sides. He's in a lot of trouble there, Tom O'Toole. They've got Gareth Milicinovich on the bench to come on if needs be.
Well, it's a proper shift, isn't it, from the tight head?
Yeah, bring him
See
on.
the position there. Harrison there. Tom O'Toole does really well. I mean, to be fair, you could arguably say it's a penalty for Ulster because Brock Harris steps around the corner, which you can't do.
Must have dominance both sides. I don't want to see it going round and I don't see it
Again,
going up.
the nuances of the scrums.
Straight dominance. Yeah, I didn't see it that time. Yeah.
You're right, though. Tom O'Toole's day is done. It's been a hell of a day for him.
They've managed 7 away wins this season, Ulster. This would be the greatest of them all. Superseding Clermont away, Toulouse away, Leinster away. Is this Ulster's time? Is this their moment? Milicinovich is on for O'Toole.
Milicinovich, what a time to come on.
They've already got a replacement on for him, but we just need to make sure he's okay.
What a scrum. Yeah. He knows how big this is.
Johannesburg born, Milicinovich. So two South Africans in that Ulster front row.
Time on. Must be square. Must stay
Declan
square.
Kidney, isn't it? The ice in the mind
Yep.
in a situation like this. Villains in now having a long discussion in the centre of the field.
Crouch.
Here we go.
Bind. Set. Stable. Hold.
The Yankees feeds. If
Yes,
Andrews
line.
gets that second drive in.
Use it now. Use the ball.
Tool to use it. Here's Yankees, Willems. Yankees again. Here's F. Andrews. Will he stretch for the line? Can they get the ball back? They can.
Stay on side.
Yankees. Again, the ball presented perfectly for the scrum half. Manny LeBoc to the outside. Here's the try, surely. Oh, it's a cutthroat finish for Ulster here at the end as Warwick Gallant goes in for the match-winning try. The try that takes the Stormers to the final of the URC. It's a brutal moment for this Ulster side who'd done so many things absolutely right in this second half. You could say they deserved to win this semi-final for some of that work they had done, but it looks as if it's going to be another semi-final defeat for Ulster and the Stormers to play the Bulls here in Cape Town if they can get the conversion.
Lost for words, Robbo. Unbelievable finish to this game. 85 minutes on the clock.
Manny LeBoc, over to you. It was Mornay Stain at the RDS last night who sealed the win in the end for the Bulls, put them so far away from Leinster they couldn't recover. Beautiful pass, so smooth, so much space on the outside for Gallant. So this for an all South African final. Remember how far down the URC table these South African franchises were after 4 or 5 rounds. And he feels here we go to extra time.
Yeah, I'm watching.
John Dobson,
Yeah.
Stormers coach. He cannot watch.
I'm feeling for him, and I've got no relevance apart from calling this game. This is what we hope for.
You think South Africa are engaged in this competition? You bet. Is the final going to be in Cape Town in a week's time? This one kick will decide for now. Should he miss, it's extra time.
He's missed it. He's got it.
Oh, he must have sneaked just inside the post. Oh my goodness, what a climax here in Cape Town. The ball wavered through the air. It looked like it was going wide. It looked like it was going to hit the post. But in the end, it just drifts inside that right hand upright. And the Stormers are into the final. The first year of this URC. And it's all South Africa. Stormers against the Bulls right here next week. Final score, Stormers 17, Ulster 15. Jim Hamilton, did they deserve that on the balance of play?
Evenly matched game. I wouldn't say the best team won. I thought they were well matched throughout. You've got to go out there and take the bull by the horns and win it. And the Stormers took it all the way to the wire. They got a red card.